I just recorded for 5 minutes and it didn't record because I didn't press the red button. I'm at Nancy's, having a trigger traumatic moment, so I got away from Paul. It's from the past, from 1994. I can't believe this is like really getting to me. Probably because of Paul's reaction now is just as bad as it was then. It's something that he did. So I'll just cut to the chase. We were hanging out in Sandra's medical school dorm. I think it was NYU in Manhattan. And we're like hanging out. And Sandra makes this comment alluding to Paul's upcoming big road trip. And why wouldn't I know about it? Like, why shouldn't she comment on it? She assumed I knew about it, like any normal person would. So I go, what road trip? And she's like dying. And Paul is like pale. So I just look at him, I'm like, what road trip? And this is summer of 94, I don't know if I said that. And he's like, Brian and I have had this plan since high school, before 1991, that we would go on a cross-country road trip and find a city to live in. We'll go camping and go places where we know people, and maybe some places where we don't know people. So I felt too humiliated. I felt really in shock and devastated and humiliated. And I couldn't really express it because Sandra was there. I felt like I had to hold it together. Like I couldn't cry or yell at him or interrogate him. And it was like, oh, I wish you'd told me about it. Like, I don't know how I handled it, but I kept it together. I don't remember the worst part. Knowing and in front of Sandra. It's probably good she was there because I would have gone like full psycho on him. And then he would have been in the right. Look, can't tell you anything, or whatever. And later in time, like before they left, I had words with him, like, why didn't you tell me? How could you do this to me? Like, you're going to a place to find a place to live? Like, why didn't you tell me? And he was just Rain Man autistic. So that summer, I had the shittiest summer. They got to do that. And I didn't break up with them. Like, what a fucking doormat. I should have been like, oh, have fun on your road trip. I'm going to have fun here in Manhattan. Like, yeah. Which I eventually did. And then I felt so guilty for cheating on him. Actually, I was living in Brooklyn on a couch because rent-free, Carol Ann took in Norma, the cousin of Ricardo. She gave him my bedroom because she was in love with Ricardo and wanted to make Ricardo feel happy that his cousin Norma, or friend? Wait, he had an affair with Norma. They were seen kissing on the steps of Columbia by my friend. Was Norma a cousin? Maybe like a third cousin? I think of her as cousin Norma, but she might have just been friend Norma. Whatever. She gave Norma my room and charged her no rent. So if she charged her rent, it would have made a little more sense because I was only there during summers and holidays. You know, if this was going to be like a stable, long-term tenant, roommate, like I can understand it. You know, I wouldn't like it, but it would make sense. But she got to live there for free. I got to live there for free, but I was booted. Actually, I didn't live there for free. My father paid my rent for her. So I bet she was still taking that rent. Anyway. So, yeah, I may have told this story before or written about it, but, like, I had this summer of, like, living in Park Slope on a fucking fuzzy couch, hot, no air conditioning, and I'm working in Times Square, Ben and Jerry's, in the Times Square Hotel, 8th and 9th Avenue, scooping. A large, busy store. I mean, the store wasn't that large, but it was busy. And I was sort of like, because it was kind of like a social work thing, it was like employing, they employed people of the Times Square Hotel, which was for people with formerly homeless, special needs, actors with AIDS, various types of people who would never be able to afford an apartment. So it was an old hotel that was renovated into an apartment building. It was groundbreaking. Roseanne got not a Guggenheim, a MacArthur Genius Grant, and $1 million for doing this with all these old shitty hotels. And my sister was her lawyer, so it was a kind of big deal. Anyway, I got the job because I had Ben and Jerry experience, and I wasn't a manager or anything, but I was considered like a good liaison with the special needs type workers. I mean, they were actually regular IQ. Actually, it was more like former substance misuse people and whatever you can imagine. A former prostitute, current prostitute. So, why am I there? Okay, so I was working there, and I hear doors. Is Paul looking for me? Paul's looking for me. I'm gonna stop this.